Imagine working your whole life, through decades of early mornings, long hours, and tough days. You've raised your children, paid your taxes, and done your part for this country. You've spent years planning for the day when you can finally rest, enjoy your retirement, and live with dignity. But then, just as you're getting close to that long-awaited milestone, you hear this: Canberra has made new decisions that could affect your pension, your payments, and even your retirement age. For thousands of seniors across Australia, this news has come as both confusing and worrying. Some feel angry, others uncertain, and many simply want to know what exactly is changing. Will I still get the pension when I turn 67? Will my payments go up or down? Will my savings affect my eligibility now more than before? If you're asking those questions, stay right here, because today we are breaking down everything you need to know about the new pension changes, the real rules, the confirmed facts, and what this means for you and your family. But before we begin, please take a quick moment to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell, because we bring you every major update that affects Australian seniors, retirees, and pensioners, clearly explained in simple language, straight from trusted sources. Now, let's get into it, calmly, clearly, and step by step. Before we talk about the latest changes, let's take a moment to truly understand what the age pension is and what it is not. The age pension is a regular payment from the Australian government designed to help older Australians who have reached a certain age and have limited income and assets. It's not automatic. You have to meet certain conditions to qualify. The system is managed by Services Australia and funded through taxes paid by working Australians. It serves as a financial safety net for those who no longer have a steady income after leaving the workforce. However, many people confuse retirement age with pension age. These are two different things. In Australia, there is no fixed retirement age. You can choose to retire whenever you want. But the age pension has a qualifying age, which is the age you must reach before you can apply to receive payments from the government. As of now, the age pension age is 67 years. This applies to everyone born on or after the 1st of January, 1957. So even if you retire at 60 or 65, you won't be eligible for the government pension until you reach 67. Until that point, you may need to rely on your superannuation savings or other investments to support yourself. Now, to receive the age pension, there are a few key eligibility rules that determine whether or not you qualify. The government uses three main tests: the residency test, the income test, and the assets test. First, let's look at the residency test. To qualify, you must be an Australian resident and have lived in Australia for at least 10 years, with at least 5 of those years being continuous. This rule ensures that those who benefit from the pension have contributed to the country for a significant period. If you've lived overseas for parts of your life or moved around frequently, the government will review your total years of residence before making a decision. The second requirement is the income test. This test looks at how much income you earn from other sources: wages, business profits, rental income, or investment returns. Generally, the lower your income, the higher your pension payment can be. However, if your income rises above certain limits, your pension will gradually be reduced. Then comes the assets test, which looks at what you own: your savings, properties, shares, cars, or other valuable possessions. Your primary home is generally exempt from this test, but other properties and financial assets are counted. Whichever of the two tests, income or assets, results in the lower pension rate is the one that Services Australia applies to you. For example, if your assets test allows you a higher pension, but your income test lowers it, you'll receive the smaller amount. It might sound complicated, but this system is designed to ensure that the pension goes to those who need it most. To understand why these new changes are so significant, it helps to look back at how the system evolved. The pension age wasn't always 67. Not too long ago, Australians could access it at 65. Starting in July 2017, the government began gradually increasing the qualifying age. It rose in small steps every 2 years, from 65 to 65 and a half, then to 66, and finally to 67 by July 2023. The reasoning behind this shift was that Australians are living longer. With life expectancy increasing, the government argued that it needed to ensure the pension system remains financially sustainable. If people are living longer, the pension has to support them for more years, and that costs more. The government's logic was that by extending the working age, they could ease the long-term pressure on public finances. But many Australians disagreed. Critics pointed out that not everyone can continue working into their late 60s, especially those in physically demanding jobs like construction, cleaning, transport, or nursing. They argue that the increase to 67 is unfair and unrealistic for workers whose bodies simply can't handle long physical labor. As a result, the pension age increase became a major source of frustration, and now, with new rules and adjustments coming into effect in 2025, it has sparked another round of concern. So, what exactly is changing in 2025? The good news is that the pension age itself is not increasing beyond 67. There are no official plans to push it higher, at least not yet. That's a relief for many who feared that the government might raise it to 68 or even 70. However, several other important adjustments are being introduced, effective from the 20th of September, 2025. These include increases in the pension payment rate, new income and asset thresholds, and updated deeming rates, all of which affect how much money pensioners receive. First, let's look at the pension payment increase. Twice each year, in March and September, the government reviews and adjusts the age pension based on inflation and cost of living changes. This process, known as indexation, ensures that pension payments keep up with rising expenses. From the 20th of September, 2025, the maximum age pension payment will increase once again. For single pensioners, payments will rise by $29.70 per fortnight, bringing the total maximum rate to $1,178.70 per fortnight. For couples, each partner will receive an additional $22.40 per fortnight, raising the combined total to $1,777 per fortnight, or $888.50 each. These figures include the base rate, the pension supplement, and the energy supplement. While the increase may not seem huge, it's designed to offer a little extra help to cover the rising cost of groceries, rent, and utility bills. For many, even a small boost can make a noticeable difference in daily life. Next, we have the changes to the assets test thresholds. This test determines how much you can own before your pension payments start to reduce or stop altogether. From the 20th of September, 2025, the new limits will be as follows. For a single homeowner, you can have up to $321,500 in assets and still receive the full pension. For a single non-homeowner, the limit rises to $579,500. For couples who own their home, the combined limit will be $481,500, while couples who don't own a home can have up to $739,500 in assets. Once your assets go above these limits, your pension is reduced gradually until it reaches a cutoff point. Beyond that, you no longer receive payments. The government has also raised those cutoff points, meaning you can now hold slightly more before losing your pension entirely. For example, single homeowners can now have up to $714,500 in assets before their pension cuts off completely. This is generally seen as a positive change, as it allows more retirees who previously didn't qualify to now access a part pension. The income test thresholds are also being raised. This change allows you to earn a little more before your pension is reduced. From the 20th of September, 2025, the maximum income you can have before your pension cuts off will be $2,575.40 per fortnight for singles, $3,934 per fortnight for couples combined, and $5,094.80 for couples separated by illness. These increases may not sound like much, but they provide more flexibility for older Australians who work part-time or earn modest income from investments. It's a small but meaningful improvement for those who want to stay active and maintain some level of financial independence while still receiving government support. Now, let's talk about the most controversial update, the increase in deeming rates. Deeming is how the government estimates the income you earn from financial assets, such as bank accounts, shares, and term deposits. Even if your actual earnings are lower, the government deems that you are earning a certain amount based on standard rates. These rates have been frozen for several years to protect pensioners during times of low interest rates, but from the 20th of September, 2025, they will rise. The lower deeming rate, which applies to the first $64,200 for singles or $106,200 for couples, will increase from 0.25% to 0.75%. The upper deeming rate, which applies to any amounts above those thresholds, will rise from 2.25% to 2.75%. While this might sound small, it can have a big impact on pension calculations. Essentially, the government will assume you're earning more from your savings than before, even if you're not. As a result, some pensioners could see their payments reduced. This has caused anger among retirees who feel they are being penalized for saving responsibly. Many argue that deeming rates should reflect real-world interest rates, which remain quite low for everyday savings accounts. So while pension payments are going up slightly, the higher deeming rates could offset that increase for some people, meaning not everyone will come out ahead. Who will benefit the most from these changes, and who might lose out? For full-rate pensioners, those with minimal savings or income, the news is mostly positive. They will see a small but welcome increase in payments, and the deeming rate changes won't affect them much. For part pensioners, however, the situation is mixed. The higher thresholds for income and assets could increase their payments slightly, but the higher deeming rates might reduce them. Those with larger savings or investments are the ones most likely to feel the negative impact. Meanwhile, younger Australians approaching retirement age, those in their early 60s, should take this as a reminder to plan carefully. Understanding how your assets and income will be assessed once you reach 67 can help you make smarter financial decisions now. The public reaction to these changes has been strong. Many seniors feel frustrated and betrayed. After spending decades working and planning their retirement, they see these adjustments as moving the goalposts yet again. For pensioners living on tight budgets, even a small reduction can make a big difference. Some have called the deeming rate rise a hidden cut, arguing that it gives with one hand and takes with the other. Pensioners' associations and advocacy groups have been urging the government to rethink the change, saying it punishes savers while rewarding those with little or nothing left. Economists are divided. Some believe the new settings strike a reasonable balance between fairness and long-term sustainability, while others see them as short-sighted and unfair to those who manage to save modestly. But rather than simply feeling angry or helpless, there are practical steps you can take. First, review your financial situation. Use the calculators available on the Services Australia website to estimate how the new limits might affect your payments. Second, consider getting professional advice. A financial advisor familiar with the age pension system can help you legally organize your finances in a way that maximizes your benefits. Small adjustments, such as how your savings are structured, can make a real difference. Third, prepare your documents early if you are nearing pension age. You can apply up to 13 weeks before turning 67, and since processing times can vary, it's best not to wait until the last minute. Fourth, stay informed. Pension rates and thresholds are reviewed twice each year, so keeping track of changes helps you avoid surprises. And finally, speak up. If you believe the changes are unfair or confusing, let your voice be heard. Contact your local MP, join community groups, and participate in senior advocacy organizations. The more people raise their concerns, the more likely policymakers are to listen. Many Australians also have common questions about these updates. The first is whether the pension age is going up again. The answer is no, it remains at 67. The second question is whether everyone will get a pay rise in September 2025. Yes, all pensioners will receive an increase, but the actual benefit depends on your financial circumstances. Another frequent concern is whether deeming will hurt those with small savings. Generally, it won't. The increase mostly affects people with larger savings or investments. You can also continue working while receiving the pension, thanks to the work bonus, which allows you to earn extra income without reducing your payments. And yes, the rules can change again in the future. The government reviews pension settings every March and September, and major policy changes can also come through the annual federal budget. At its core, the age pension is about fairness, respect, and recognition. Every senior deserves to live with dignity after a lifetime of contribution. When governments change the rules, it creates uncertainty and anxiety for people who have already done their part. The pension is not a handout. It's a right earned through years of hard work and tax contributions. For many, it represents security in old age, the assurance that after decades of effort, they won't be left behind. So, what do these 2025 changes ultimately mean? They mean higher payments for many, tighter rules for some, and more complexity for everyone. The pension age remains 67, but the system continues to evolve, and staying informed is more important than ever. If you understand how the changes work, you can protect your entitlements and plan more effectively for the future. Remember to stay proactive, check your eligibility, organize your finances, seek advice, and monitor official updates. Retirement should be a time of peace and comfort, not confusion or worry. By taking charge of your information and planning ahead, you can make sure that your retirement years are as stable and secure as possible. If you found this explanation helpful, please like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel for more updates. We simplify every major Centrelink, age pension, and retirement change so you can stay informed without the stress. In a world full of shifting policies and constant news, one thing remains clear: your voice matters, and your future is worth protecting. Stay strong, stay informed, and take care of yourself and your loved ones. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next update.